Greetings from YouTubeville. Once again, Danny Savage, Draft Guru. We're going to be doing an update on Jake Ferguson's injury status. Now, Jake Ferguson's injury status all could have been avoided if he was just dating Taylor Swift. If Jake Ferguson was just dating Taylor Swift, he never would have got hurt. She has a thing for tight ends, and it seems like Kelsey can do nothing wrong when he's with Taylor Swift. But on a real note, bone bruise and a knee sprain. Uh, if you had a bone bruise in, your arm, your shin, they could, give you medicine and you can play with that. I think a bone bruise in your knee, they're not going to play around with that, especially with a young player like Jake Ferguson. Now, you have the bone bruise and the knee sprain. He's a young player. His future is ahead of him. And it's only the first game of the year. So let's just say if he sits out, play it safe. Sits out the next couple of weeks. Would you rather have Jake Ferguson now, or would you rather have Jake Ferguson later on at the end of the season when you could possibly try to make a playoff run? If you like, sub, and subscribe, it don't cost a dime. He's a young kid. He has a lot of talent. I truly believe he can make that next step, and that next step will put him as the number one tight end in the NFL. And then once he is the number one tight end in the NFL, Taylor Swift will probably leave Jason Kelsey, and then she'll hook up with Jake Ferguson. You also have to be careful with this fantasy wise, but not really. I mean, fantasy wise, but also just football wise. Because how many times does anyone remember when Dak broke his finger, and instead of putting him on IR, Jerry said, "No, he's week to week. He can play any given week." He literally was saying that Dak was going to play the following week after breaking one of his fingers. And he does that just so it's in the news. And I firmly believe if Jake Ferguson's injury was worse, Jerry wouldn't even be telling the truth. He wouldn't. He wouldn't. He would just leave us in limbo just so Jake Ferguson is in the news every single day. Once again, that's what makes Jerry money. That's what makes him the most valuable man in the NFL. 13 billion. Late at night, still the best beard. Sorry for the late night video. I couldn't sleep, so I just wanted to throw it out there. And he was on my mind because I try to do one Dallas video a week. But don't be shocked, everybody, if we just keep on hearing, yeah, he's ready to play. He's ready to play. Oh, we're just going to be safe. Oh, game time decision. He's going to be a game time decision. And then just to be on the safe side, they're going to sit him out. Oh, don't be shocked. Following week, game time decision, sit him out. We've seen this before with Jerry with a lot of players, and it's just a marketing ploy by him to keep Dallas in the news. Because let's be honest, if he puts Jake Ferguson on IR and then he just misses the next 4 games, that's it. There's no more Jake Ferguson in the news. And what does Jerry think about? Just money. Having Dallas in the newspapers. So we also have, let's see, Brevin Spanford was my 9th ranked tight end preseason of the draft this past April. He blocked pretty well this past Sunday. Nobody had him. Nobody had him in their top 30, but I did. I had him in my 9, and I'm not afraid to take a chance on somebody. I saw a kid who was 6'6", 270 with very soft hands, who played in a very underrated Minnesota offense. And I put him at 9. An undrafted free agent, made the team. Third, I look at him as a third offensive tackle in the run game with soft hands to catch touchdowns, who could be a sneaky threat inside the 20-yard line, the 10-yard line. Then we have Luke Schoonmaker, whatever you want to call him. I view him strictly as a blocker. I think his hands are horrible. I think his hands are legit horrible. So, John Michael Stevens, he's hurt. We don't know the status of him. We also don't know if he was just fake hurt, so they can just dress Hunter Limpke for that game. We really don't know. Is John Stevens going to be healthy for the Sunday? We don't know yet. So we could honestly see Noah Fant being brought up from the practice squad. So if we see that Sunday, expect to see Jake Ferguson to be out a few weeks. Definitely expect him to see it, because bone bruises are brutal. I mean, legit brutal. And like I said, you can take things to take the pain away if they're inserting positions. But in the knee, they're not going to be injecting him in the knee with medication to kill the pain of the bone bruise on top of that with the sprained knee. Because now he can hurt his knee even worse, and he's not going to feel it because the medicine, I mean, whatever they did to his knee, numbed the pain. Plus, like I said, if he stays on his course, which I think he can, and I think he will, and I think he's one of them I think he's very underrated. As much as people talk about him, I think he's very underrated. And I think Dak doesn't even go to him enough. And especially with Lamb starting slow, they have to go to him a lot. Did he even have a catch against Cleveland? Did he have maybe, I think, 2 looks? He looked like he was barely in the game barely in the game plan for the Browns. So this week, Dallas is playing New Orleans. New Orleans can put up some points. Don't be shocked. They can put up some points. So we can be seeing a passing game on Sunday. This is like my once a week cowboy video. Don't expect many of them. And I'm sure Jake Ferguson's knee issues would all go away if he hooked up with he got with Taylor Swift. She likes tight ends. We all know when you're rocking with the GWO, it's for life, over and out. Tomorrow, I already got teams that are dropping in college football, but mostly it's going to be players that are dropping. But it's going to be a very, very short list because it's way, way early, and I don't want to just put that. I don't want to put voodoo on a bunch of young players when I know they have good tape, and there could be a million things why they had a bad 2 weeks. They had a bad 1 week. Listen, it happens. Very rarely do you have 12 great weeks, 13, 14 good weeks. You're going to have good games. You're going to have bad games. So tomorrow's list is not going to be that long. Have a good night, everybody.